ID cards and any of that stuff.
Okay.
You guys know that you can download your driver's license on your phone now? But it's good to fly, it's good for everything, except for if you get pulled over by a cop, then you have to have the physical ID. But like Apple has you can save your IDs and stuff in there.
I don't know that I want my ID though in my phone.
Man,
And
nobody
then
can
I'd
hack
lose my phone and,
into it. I mean, it takes biometric of my face to get into it.
mine is my fingerprint.
If anybody's that smart to where they can get around that security, they're gonna get my stuff anyway.
I know, I have biometric on my face and Rick, my husband, and it's like, yeah, that's John. And I'm like, okay, that was scary.
That is scary, good.
Mustache, I mean, come on.
On my iPhone, my kids have tried that numerous times, didn't work for them. They know my password though.
Fun stuff, all this new stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing was is $10,000 one for the water.
I'm ready.
WRCB.
Whenever you're ready, just.
And Oscar said Carlos was sick, so there's no Carlos.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. On?
Have a good night.
Okay, all right. I'll just go with the camera.
Okay, I'd like to bring this meeting of the Fraser Park Public Utilities District to order. It's the regular state planning and project meeting for Thursday, October 24th, 2024. We're starting at 4 p.m. We do not have an additional teleconference location. So we're gonna start with the call to order. We'll start with the pledge to the flag. If everyone could please rise. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, and
5 years old.
we're gonna do the roll call of directors. Director Garcia.
Here.
Director Nyman.
Here.
Director Gibson.
Here.
Director Kelly.
Here.
And I'm Director Schoenberg. That's all the directors
Here.
here present. Item 2, discussion vote adjust agenda if necessary. Is there a motion to adjust the
I
agenda?
move that we table number 15 until our next regular meeting.
I'll second that.
Minutes,
Okay, any discussion?
we're not ready.
Roll call of directors, Garcia.
Aye.
Nyman.
Aye.
Gibson.
Aye.
Kelling.
Aye.
And Schoenberg's an aye. That motion passes 5-0-0. The minutes for 10/17/2024 state update meeting have been tabled until our next regular meeting. Okay, item 3, public comments. Are there any items not listed on the agenda that the public needs to comment or would like to comment on? They're limited to 5 minutes. Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna move on to item 4, standing committee reports, accounts payable committee.
We met and there was nothing extraordinary.
Except for our annual,
Annual dues.
dues for the water.
Yeah.
Okay, state update meeting committee.
We met, we'll be covering everything in all the other agenda items.
Okay, quarterly financial committee.
We met and everything went real smooth.
And you finished?
And we finished.
Yeah, we finished, so we do not have a second, but we are gonna need to meet as an ad hoc on that
Day.
day, in order to, so we're not doing it as a standing committee, but we need to, look at the
Properties.
properties that we have listed on our current asset list.
Have to look at them for what?
We're going to, try to put them all into the computer because they're not all in there. And then, Johnny has been interested in us possibly disposing of some of them, but in order for us to do that, we have to have everything up to date. We need to find out if we need surveys, We need to find out what the auditor has and all of that.
Okay,
So we do have a list, but the list does not match what we have in the computer.
yeah, I'm open up to selling some property.
Okay, so that's gonna happen, but that's actually the next, that's item 5, ad hoc committee reports, so the project committee.
We didn't meet, okay. No,
No, we didn't, no. And the financial committee ad hoc will be when we said on the 29th. Is that good?
No, we don't have a financial.
well, we did meet
Oh.
right after the state update meeting. What were we discussing? We met with Dee and Oscar.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Me and Oscar, what did you guys meet? What did you guys discuss last week?
Take a look on the sheet, because I'm sure I probably wrote it. On the second page, whatever the.
Oh, it was the environmental, process discussion. So we did meet, as a, hello, as a
Okay.
project committee. And we discussed, what we needed to do in terms of both doing a contract with,
Oh, that's right.
with,
Contract with Stanley Hoffman
Yeah.
and Associates.
No, not Stanley Hoffman.
Tom
I
Dodson,
mean,
Tom
huh?
Dodson,
Tom Dodson
Yes.
and Associates, I'm sorry.
And so, and also, what, timetable and some other things. So we discussed basically, the contract and also, what we currently have listed. And
So-
whether we'll be able to be reimbursed for things which we were told during the state update meeting that we would be.
So basically,
By
Tom Dodson is gonna make a contract with us.
Instead of these?
And it's gonna be ready for our regular meeting on the, whatever the 8th, I think, whenever our next regular meeting is in November.
Yeah, he said he was okay waiting until our next
14th.
regular meeting.
So,
November 14th.
so by November 14th, and then at that time, you know, we'll be able to release the one check that we cut. And also then I guess we'll talk about, yeah, I think he has some other ones that we need to do. So,
And the financial ad hoc is at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, the 29th.
Right.
Okay, so
took a second to.
rain fog, okay,
There was a-
any other questions, discussion, otherwise I'm gonna move on to item 6. Okay, item 6, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information, and this is Deborah.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Can you hear us, Deborah?
Okay,
Yeah.
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we prepared 9 checks out of the revenue operating account for a total of $14,043.09. There was one extraordinary disbursement to the Association of California Water Agencies for $10,635. That's all I have.
Okay, before I make a motion, I'm gonna include in the motion, because I wanna talk about, I also wanna include in the motion for next week to be able to cut a check for Tiffany for her hotel room, her reimbursement. So she can get her reimbursement next week. Also, we need to approve cutting 2 checks because Bruff is looking for their progress payment 5 and 6. And progress payment 5 is in the amount of $121,248.50. And the payment 6 is $111,031.25. We are going to take out a bridge loan.
We did, I mean, we.
Well, we've sent the request. So we should be getting the money and they're looking for the money. So we want to be able to, when we receive the money next week, to be able to cut a check, go around, get the 3 signatures and mail them off to Brock. So if nobody has a problem with that, I'll make a motion. Oh,
Is there a seconder to that motion?
no, I
I
haven't.
had made the motion. He wants me to.
Okay,
do all that.
I make a motion that we pay our bills, that we also approve cutting a check next week for Tiffany and cutting checks for progress payment 5 and 6 for Bruff when we receive the bridge loan to be able to pay it and send it out.
Now, is there a seconder to
I'll
that
second
motion?
that.
Okay, any
Give that back to
discussion,
Tiffany.
comments, questions? All right, roll call vote, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 5-0. We will pay our bills. And then there will be 3 checks cut next week and those will go around for signature, outside of the meeting. Okay, anything else under, financial business? Yes.
Were there any transfers that took place over, I'm not sure what your time period is from your last cutoff time period of reporting to now? Transfers from any accounts?
No,
Yeah, didn't we? Oh, that was, we reported on that last.
last time.
No, all our transfers, I believe, happen at the end of the month, at like the beginning.
Yeah, but
of-
those
No,
are
but we-
regular transfers.
But I thought during the financial standing committee, but did we
No, we
report
didn't.
that out?
We,
No.
Oh,
We
you wanted
made
me to change things.
Yeah, we changed a bunch of stuff. We had to check, so what happens is on October 16th, we need to reevaluate all of our accounts that have to do with the USDA and our loans, so we went back in, reevaluated everything.
did they take?
They took the money, it was, less than what,
And I don't have it written down. Yes, we still had money in the account, and so.
yeah, it was what we thought they should take out, but we still have money in the account because we had overcompensated the account to make sure that we were covered in case they decided to take out more money.
Right,
So that money is still in the account, and we figured out the difference between the money that is currently in the account to cover the principal and interest, and figured out the April interest and made sure that we changed the amount that is being taken out so that it will cover the correct
but
amount.
did you include the leave $5,000 in there?
Yes,
Okay, because we always left 5,000 in there in order to make sure that if they took out more or
Yeah,
less
we
and made a
made-
mistake, we don't end up overdrawing.
And is that on all the USD?
that's
accounts?
no, that is the interest and principal payments, so that
For all
goes
of them.
into. Yes,
It
but
goes
that
to the USDA
goes into
fund.
the USDA payments fund. And so they removed money from the payment fund, which was due on the 15th, and we changed the amount that we pay in monthly so that we're covered for the April interest. And it'll be taken out monthly until April. and
Yeah,
then They
yeah.
take it out in April.
We put in probably 13,000 or something like that. a month.
$13,320
Okay, yeah,
Monthly.
monthly.
month.
So that's in the USDA payment fund. Then we also removed some money from the revenue, from both revenue accounts, since the revenue accounts were over what they were supposed to be. Do you have the amounts we removed?
Yeah, out of reserve loan 3 and 4, we took out $1,469.84.
And put it in operating revenue?
All right. And then in loan 6, we took out what did we take out? $8,098.93.
Also the operating revenue, so the way that works is on the 15th, 16th of each October, you're supposed to look and see that it's covering exactly what it's supposed to be. We compared our debt service to, I have a whole formula that I've done a spreadsheet for. And so we looked at the spreadsheet, we were over the amount of the bank accounts, which belongs to us according to the bond book, and we're supposed to remove that and put exactly what the debt service is, and we did that. And then we also checked.
Okay,
the
can I be clear, so I'm clear?
Yeah,
So this is coming out of, for the reserve loan. That,
The reserve
account, the
accounts, yeah.
reserve account, and the reserve
Loan.
account, the reserve account has monies for all loans to cover our debt service.
not all
Principal.
loans, there's one that's 3 and 4.
Well, yeah,
And one that's.
yeah, there's 2
6.
different accounts.
Yes.
Okay, and so we have to have the debt service, which is principal and interest of at least one year, which is 1 year.
Correct,
And
so
so
we
if you,
looked,
so we were over, and then that money got put back into our revenue operating, and so we're clear on that. Okay,
correct.
okay.
And then on the replacement, we double checked the amounts that we're putting into the replacement. We kept the 9,000 is a normal amount, so that didn't have to be, changed. And we also are putting extra, well, we're not putting extra money in that one because loan 6 is accurate. Loan 3 and 4, they all go into one account, but loan 3 and 4, which is, it's also called loan 1 and 2. So loan 1, which is 3 and 4, was not accurate. We were underpaying the amount. We figured that out whenever that was a while back. We started putting in how much money? Automatic,
Well,
kept that 5,000 or something.
An extra
Extra
5,000.
5,000, so we kept
But-
that.
Loan 3, we're paying $26,602.56. Or that's what we need in there. And on loan 4, we need $61,230.00.
So we checked it. It actually goes down every year, the amount that you need to put in. So we're
but we were originally, let me understand again, on the replacement, we had figured out you were putting in monthly the 5,000 or whatever
right,
you
we
want.
changed the.
But then we were also putting in an additional $2,500.
Yeah, that's still,
catch up.
that's still going in.
there.
That's still going.
And we corrected the amounts to make sure that we're putting in the exact amount we need and not extra or
Okay.
under.
Okay,
And on the loan 2, also called 6, that one is figured out. They gave us
Well, that was right
information,
from the
and that one
beginning.
was right from the beginning,
Yeah.
correct. And so
Yeah.
that one is not being touched, but they all go into the same pot.
right,
And so we adjusted
Okay.
that pot as it's supposed to be adjusted. So, oh yeah, so all of that happened during our financials, not our ad hoc, during our standing committee, our quarterly financial. Because we need to check it each October 16th. So that's all good till the following and
For a
we
year.
set it up for a year.
okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, anything on that?
Good job.
Okay, unfinished business. We're gonna go into a closed session. So.
Excuse
oral
me?
Announcement prior.
Good night, Deborah.
Oh, thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. Have a good evening and a good weekend.
You
All right,
too.
you too,
Good night.
Deborah.
Okay, closed session pursuant to government code 54957. Oral announcement prior to closed session, government code 54957.7A. A representative of the legislative body to orally announce the items to be discussed in closed session prior to any closed session meeting. So item 7 is the closed session pursuant to government code 54957, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, government code 54956.9D1, Fraser Park Public Utility District versus CNC Elite Properties LLC et al. That's Kern County Superior Court case number BCB 24-24-100199. Okay, item 8, closed session pursuant to government code 54957. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, government code 54956.9D1. CNC Elite Properties LLC and Hacienda Salcedo Inc. versus Fraser Park Public Utility District. That's Kern County Superior Court, case number BCB 24 101972. Item 9, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957. Conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8. Property is being negotiated, 256, parcel number 256-070-54, 256-070-55, and 256-520-13. Agency negotiators are Lisa Schomburg, Brahma Nyman, and D. Jasper. Negotiating parties, Jeff French and Emily Wainwright, and under negotiation is the price and the terms of payments. So with that, we are going to ask any members of the public or anyone who's here that is not part of the closed session to leave for now. I don't think this will be real long as our attorney is not here. We're just getting caught up on where we're at, and we will come get you as soon as we are done. So we are going into the closed session at 4:19 PM.
I can't believe how expensive tires are at Costco.
Are expensive everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean,
You can get Joe. No.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we are coming out of our closed session. I'm gonna make the oral announcement following the closed session. Government Code 54957.1A, the legislative body of any local agency shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention on that action of every member present thereon. We did not take any action within the closed session. It was informational only. We are coming out of that session at 4:34 PM. And we are now back in the open session with no action to report out. Okay, we're on item 10. Discussion about update on Fraser Park Lake of the Woods Consolidation Planning Project. 10A, discussion vote on the contract with Tom Dodson Associates for environmental work. So we just needed to make sure that the board is okay with us directly contracting with Tom Dodson. We did talk to Ruben during the state update meeting. He didn't feel like it mattered whether or not the contract was between us and Tom Dodson or between D and then having him as a subcontractor. He felt that because it's a line item that we're covered either way. So he was okay with us doing it either way as long as there is a contract. So I think we just need to have a motion though, entertain a motion that it is, and why we shouldn't make it, or participate necessarily.
Well, I mean, so we're gonna, I mean, as long as the board is okay with us doing a contract, we're gonna do it on the next meeting. Is everybody okay with that?
I think it needs to be a
I
motion.
don't think it needs to be a motion. Why does it need to be a motion?
I think it
We're
needs
all
to
in
be a
agreement.
motion.
If everyone says they're in agreement, it's not a motion because you're not doing anything until the contract comes and then they have to read the contract and say, yes, we're gonna do the contract.
Okay, so the contracts can be the motion, that's probably correct. So, so we just need to make sure that that carries over so that we can vote on the actual contract when we
Perfect.
get it. And we will go ahead and everyone is okay with us doing the contract direct. Okay, hearing no opposition to that, we will move on. Is there anything else on 10A that we need to discuss? Okay, 10B, discussion about review of the project timeline and budget. I don't think anything has,
Everything's been
Change
submitted,
something?
everything's been submitted to Ruben, and I think we're just kind of in a holding pattern, D.
Yeah, he's running it up the flagpole and to his superiors, and the last time that we talked, he said he had not received any negative comments about what we had turned in, and so I think it's just a matter of getting it all the way up to, whoever is really responsible for okaying it and getting it okayed. So, I have no idea when that's gonna happen, but we'll continue on.
Yeah, and as far as the budget is concerned, we were down to about $17,000 on his one line item for design, so.
so we probably need to hold on design. You've been doing that, correct, Dee?
I would prefer not to hold. We'll just, we'll turn in the bills and wait. But, we have momentum now. We're on it and we're working on it. And I really don't want to stop and then have to start it again. I'm willing to wait until the state comes up with some money. Otherwise, it just starts and stops, take more money and more time.
Well, what if it's, what
What if they don't?
But what if they don't, Dee, then you're still gonna be looking for money and we're not gonna have money to give you.
Well, I guess we'll have a cake sale or something.
Okay, so let the
Willing to do that.
record reflect that D is moving forward. We are concerned with where the money would come from, and D is saying that he is okay moving forward and not concerned. So that let the record reflect that.
Okay,
Okay, anything else on 10B? 10C, discussion vote on the acquisition and development of well 8 and 9 properties. So well 8, we are waiting on a court date of November 5th. And well 9, we are waiting for the next couple weeks to be able to negotiate directly with the property owners as one is out of the country right now.
Also D too. Oh, go ahead. All right.
Let's keep going.
Okay. 10D, discussion vote on the acquisition and development of well 9 and additional booster and tank site properties, certificate of compliance, lot line adjustment, property appraisals, same as C, it's part of the same process. And that will eventually be tied together, C and D, with an escrow account. We're not there yet, and we don't have the letter of intent.
But we can say about the appraisal. It's okay if it's public knowledge, isn't it?
We do have the appraisal, which was for the Bear Court property, which is the, where the booster and tank site will be. And so that will be, there are 3 different, amounts on that, and we're in discussion on that as to how much property we actually need. And, D was saying we probably do not need an easement. So we do need to wait though for D to tell us the exact footprint we need before we can absolutely negotiate that amount, the amount and the actual size of the property.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions on that? Comments on that? Okay, 10E, discussion vote on municipal services review, quote, draft MSR. So the MSR is done. The MSR just needs to be, there needs to be an application made. There was some discussion on that with our environmental people. And so that, I don't know, do you want to talk about that, Dee?
Yeah, the, Tom has prepared a draft, a letter to Blair Knox, the executive director of LAFCO, requesting that we get permission to use the common sense exemption for the SOI. And so he's drafted a letter. I've read it. I don't know whether that was submitted to the board or not, but I can get you a copy of it. And then
No, it was not.
okay, yeah, I can get you a copy. And then so if we prevail, which he's pretty sure we will, then we will, that's the last thing that we have to do on the application. And is just get past the CEQA requirement, and hopefully that would fulfill it. Then once we submit, and we submit the exemption, we'll be under that same timeline that we are on any other exemption, which is I think 35 days for the state clearinghouse. So we've got to go to the county recorder and the state clearinghouse again. Tiffany, and you have quite a bit of experience with them now. So, you know, when we're ready to do that, we'll tie you in to that process.
Okay.
And I have a question because under the meeting, I think I was confused as our discussion about something about LAFCO being the lead agency.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the SOI. So once again,
Okay.
the SOI is its own thing that needs to move forward, and that's gonna be
Okay.
what's happening with this notice of exemption for common sense notice.
Okay.
What we discussed, just so the board and the public know, is what we discussed in the state or after in that separate meeting with the projects ad hoc, is that in order to do the actual annexation, word is escaping me. In order to do the actual annexation, then there are some issues that come up, and we have issues that we had brought up that have to do with, the fact that we're not gonna necessarily wanna do an annexation without having a promise of money. And there are some issues with LAFCO potentially if we're waiting and holding on the annexation, potentially becoming the lead agency, but that's a whole thing that needs to be hammered out after the SOI. So I think our agreement was that we just move forward, get the SOI in place, and then there's gonna be a lot of discussion in regards to the annexation because we may have issues.
Because
With
the
the
SOI is just
annexation.
a sphere of
The
influence.
SOI
right?
is just a sphere of influence. It
Yeah.
doesn't, it is separate from the annexation in the sense that not everyone within the sphere of influence needs to annex.
Right,
So they have a choice as to whether they want to annex it.
right.
And so, but that once we actually go through with the annexation itself, that's a bigger deal because once we annex, we're kind of, then we're, you know, Lake of the Woods is part of us, and if we don't have any money to do that pipeline, we've got problems.
We could discuss that more later.
So, yeah, that's a later intense discussion that'll be happening for a while. Any other questions on that? Issues with that? So we're just taking it one thing at a time. So, 10F was tabled, is still tabled. That's the memorandum of understanding. That's gonna happen towards the very end of our planning project before our construction project. 10G, discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation. This
Pam.
is
Or
Pam and Joan.
Hey guys,
You're
can
on.
you hear? Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am a bundle of information. There's really nothing to report on the two grants. Well number 4, as of October 1st, has non-detect for manganese and iron. The blending station, our only result for October so far, our nitrate level was at 2.8. So you're totally doing great. And that's it, unless you guys have questions for us.
Thank you, Pam. Yes, Jesse Dollywall was happy with you guys. Our nitrates are another story. Hopefully they stay good. So, but higher than yours. So, any questions for Lake of the Woods? Yes, Joe.
At the last meeting, you had asked about the meeting that D. Jasper had with Lake of the Woods and the Lake of the Woods engineer about
Yes.
the future plan. I want to make sure that I was clear in the explanation in that D gave us his proposal, but there was additional documentation that our engineer needed from him. We still need to see the hydraulic profile and control scheme in order to make a decision because we don't have enough information. So
I don't think he has that yet.
right. And we talked about the possibility of tying into the blending station, but until we see these other things, we can't really say, yes, this is gonna work, and no, it's not. So I didn't want to give you the impression from the last meeting that we were saying, yeah, everything's cool. We don't know yet.
And
Well,
what's the
let D-
potential timeline on that, D,
I
on
mean-
getting that information?
Let me, let me talk about two things. One is the hydraulic profile. I have one prepared. And Joni and I looked at it a little bit last Friday. And I'm gonna tweak it a little bit and then I'll issue that, Joan, so Jeannie will have that. Then on the pipeline routing and all that, we're still working on that. That's gonna be a work in progress. It's probably gonna be, you know, one of the things that'll take us past the budget, and I'm not too concerned about that.
And the control scheme, have you started on that yet?
No, we won't do that until, you know, we've got basically the plans together. We have thought about it and talked about it. And so we have some ideas on that, but we'll finalize that when we get a little bit further down the road, Joan.
Okay, and do we have a time frame of when that further down the road might be?
Well,
You might
I'll
answer.
say we're working our way down with pipeline plans and profiles. And so I think we're at well 9 now. I've actually got to take a look at them tomorrow. And so then we'll continue on down towards Lake of the Woods. We will position that pipe at the closest, proximity to the blending station, and we'll even put a branch there to the blending station. So, we fully intend to do that. We're not gonna leave that out. But otherwise, we don't have a set of plans I can show you right now.
And
So you're talking about putting a branch to that pre going to the tank as opposed to post the tank? Because originally you had talked about going to the tank and then the blending station. Now you're saying a branch to the blending station and to the tank.
Yeah, that's pretty
Is
much
that
all.
correct?
Yeah, that's no change from what we've been thinking. Maybe I didn't express it clearly, but we're taking the main line to the north tanks. That controls the hydraulics of that part of the system. And then we're going to take a branch off that line and take it over to the blending station. So the water from well 8, well 9 can be used for blending if need be. Otherwise, it'll go to the tank, and that will provide, everything by gravity from the tanks down.
So it's a branch before the main line going to the tank.
Yeah, it'll just be a branch.
Over the tank. Okay.
it's gonna weigh off. And as always, budget is a big concern. So, on these things that we're asking, where does that fit into you guys' budget?
Yeah, and we gotta keep in mind that there's no sense trying to hurry deal along with making these decisions because the money isn't gonna be there super fast anyway. So him working his way up the hill is fine. Nothing's happening quick in this project.
Well, and none of that really can be completely, I mean, that budget is the budget he needs to come up with for the construction.
So I mean, so we, for that time.
Yeah,
Right, but I just want to make clear that we can't put our blessings on it because we don't have all the information yet.
right. So, but the important thing is that we're talking to you
Absolutely.
and you're talking to us.
Yeah,
And we're considering, so we're on the same page with what we're thinking about. So that's a
Absolutely.
good thing. Okay, so I guess that's all. Are there any other questions for Lake of the Woods? Okay, moving on to 10H. This is Carlos, but Carlos is not here. So I don't know, Director Nyman, are you going to do that for us?
Well, I gotta look. in-
So it's the discussion vote on claim 47 and other claims and payouts. We did go over 47 at the state update meeting.
Okay, all right, for claim 47, we have administrative costs of $566.66. We have, staff recovery staff costs, $39.78. There is a D. Jasper and Associates under Consolidation Engineering, $1,236.90. And then there's under Consolidation Legal, Young and Wooldridge, invoice 115879 and 115880, in the amount of $325, which is a total of $2,168.34 for administration. Then there is for environmental work, there's a invoice for D. Jasper and Associates, invoice number 24-00909 in the amount of $651. And then under engineering design for well and pipeline work, invoice number 24-0098 in the amount of $30,000, $545.88, which is, brings the claim total to $33,365.22. So, there isn't any.
And just before you finish, just a note for everyone, again, from our meeting with, whoa, it's not that over. Our meeting with Tom Dodson, the top pages that aren't actually part of the claim. But if you're looking at that and you, are panicky, the $7,000, that was a whole discussion we had because we didn't have all the information. But that 57,000 is for another, that is not part of our amount that we owe. So the only thing we owe currently for the survey is that 7,737.76. That's the biological survey. And all those other numbers are actually for other projects that they were dealing with. So they're gonna get us another invoice, but you can ignore the other pages that they
He's
have a
not getting us
spreadsheet.
another invoice.
Huh?
He's not getting us another
I
invoice.
thought they're getting us the
No.
spreadsheet that said.
Well, they might
Clearly
send,
says it's just the.
well, they
7,000.
might show a spreadsheet, yeah, that's.
So anyway, we were panicking because we thought it had already come to 60-something thousand, and that is not the case. It's come to 7,000. So if you're trying to make heads or tails out of those first 4 pages, that's what's going on. It's only really the top page. And then,
That's not part of
and
this
then that's
claim.
not part of the claim because we're gonna have a contract separate. So I just wanted.
But won't that go on to a claim?
No,
No.
that, well,
We have to pay all of Tom Dodson.
okay, no,
ourselves?
it will go on to a claim,
The biggest bulk of that, on that invoice, doesn't pertain to us.
right?
At all.
So that $7,000 is that check that we've already cut, that we're holding until we get a contract. And once we get a contract, then we'll release the check and then we'll submit this 7,000 onto a claim.
Okay.
But
From us.
but from us, but we'll give the invoice to Carlos and he'll put it on a
And
claim.
there is a line item for that, so we will get reimbursed for it, it's just, yeah, it's not part of this.
Okay,
Right.
I make a motion that we approve claim 47 and with the, information that I sent out, originally in the amount of $33,365.22.
I'll second that.
Okay, any, discussion or, questions to that motion? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson, backwards. Okay, Director Schoenberg's an aye, so that motion passes. That is, claim 47. We're going to pay that claim or approve that claim. Okay, anything else on 10 at all? Otherwise, I'll move on to 11. Okay, moving on to item 11, discussion vote update on the FPPD meter replacement project, emergency well supply project. 11A, discussion vote update on well number 7. We are in the process of that. You want to bring us up to speed on that, Dee?
Yeah, Curtis and I talked about that today, and Bakersfield Well and Pump's supposed to be on site, they, next week or 2. They're just trying to get a crew and a
You mean unified?
well, Bill,
Bakersfield Well.
Bakersfield Well and Pump actually does the work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We're a
it's good to
subcontractor. And
Oh,
so
okay.
it is through Unified, but it will be Bakersfield Well and Pump.
Okay.
So it should be the next week or 2. They're just waiting to get a rig free.
And that's to cap the well and abandon it, and also we need to get the fencing back up. And where are we at on the items that we purchased that are, do we have those? Do we know what's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't have anything on the inventory. Johnny, do you have any
I hadn't
information?
heard nothing. No.
So we're not gonna want to pay on that until that's all
Well, of course,
resolved.
we don't pay until we receive it.
But well, 7 by itself, hopefully will be, finished soon.
Right.
Are we gonna have to go on CNC property to get that abandoned?
No.
Shouldn't have to, no.
No, because they don't have a big rig to take on.
Okay, any other questions, information on 11A? 11B, discussion about update on meter replacement. So where are we at on that?
And there's nothing.
Okay, so
Still waiting on meters.
we're waiting on the final meters that we have to go in. Okay, do you have anything else on that, Dee?
No,
Okay, 11C, discussion vote on claim 32 and other claims and payouts. This is Oscar.
Okay, so before I go into claim 32, I just wanna say that I've updated claim 29, 30, 31, and now 32 to the new forms that we got from DFA. So I received those signatures for those forms. I'll be able to send them in to Mr. Eric Manzano to have those claims processed. And with that, I'll jump into claim 32. So for claim
So
30,
Tiffany has those? Hold on, Oscar. So Tiffany has those and I just need to sign them?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Go ahead, Oscar. Sorry.
so for claim 32, I have two invoices. One from D, and that's invoice 24-00913. And that's in the amount of $762.75. And then I have an invoice from Young and Woolridge, and this was an older invoice dating back to the end of April into May of this year. That's invoice number 112036. And we were missing some information, so Tiffany got me that information and I was able to attach it. And that invoice is in the amount of $222.87. So this brings the total amount for claim 32 to $985.62.
Now, Tiffany, so is this, when we receive this claim, this goes into our revenue operating because we've already paid that
It'll
invoice?
be a
to Young-
transfer.
It'll be a transfer because we paid it to, Young and Woolridge already.
Yeah, it's a transfer.
Okay. All right, if there aren't any questions, I'll make a motion that we approve, claim number 30, right?
32.
32, claim 32 in the amount of $985.62.
And okay me as part of that motion in signing all of the previous. that were put on
And,
the
yeah,
new
and we okay,
forms.
the president of the board who has the authority to sign, all the previous claims.
I'll second that. Sorry.
Okay, any questions, discussion? Roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 500. That's for claim 32. We will be, we have approved that and I will be signing all of the other claims from 29 to 32 that are on the new forms. Okay, 11D, discussion vote update on the bridge loan requests and payments. So as was already mentioned, we are taking out another bridge loan and is in the works. We have submitted what we need to submit. We're just waiting on the payment. Correct?
Any updates on that, Oscar? Did they approve?
And that invoice that bridge loan has been submitted, the request, and I'm just waiting to hear back for approval. I'll follow up again on that tomorrow morning to see where it stands, and I'll send you an email, Tiffany, once I hear back.
Right, because we're talking about cutting the checks for those next week.
We already know.
Well, once it's funded.
Yeah,
Once
once
it's
it's done.
Okay, anything else on 11? Okay, item 12. Discussion about update on pipeline replacement project. 12A, anything changed on engineering and design?
nothing's changed, Lisa, but Curtis sent out complete sets of plans and specifications and that was done on the 17th. So, I
Okay,
think,
had those been sent out previously? Because there was a question at the state update meeting from, Jesse Dollywall and Ryan Eisenhower as to whether those were sent out, and I guess Ruben as well. So were the specs already out, or we didn't get those out to them?
Yeah, I don't know whether, I'd have to ask Curtis. I think he sent the whole package. It's all pretty much one package. So
And he broke it up so that they can receive it all, because I know it was really big.
it took 5 emails to get
Okay.
these things submitted. So they're, yeah, a big file.
So basically, the Jesse Delaware and Eric have it for review.
Yep, that's right. Well, they've had it. We sent that off a long time ago, but, I couldn't speak to the specs. I think we probably sent those too. They're all done at the same time.
Okay, so it was sent again, and they just need to look at it again and give us their blessing. So, and that is needed for the project application, which is 12B, so we can't move forward on that. We have everything else, but we're waiting for them to review the design and specs.
Well, everything is in review, but that part is in review also. And so we're waiting on the state.
Correct. And then we may need to make changes if they have any issues. Okay, any other discussion, questions? Okay, moving on to item 13, discussion vote on standby fee assessment. Tiffany, where are we at on that?
He
That
is
said, I'll
recommending.
excuse myself from the call, so enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great
Oh,
week.
thank you, Oscar, sorry.
Good night, Oscar. Thank you.
Not quick on the uptake right now. Have a good weekend.
So he's doing his engineering report, which he's gonna present to the board at the November meeting,
Okay. The November 1st regular meeting?
regular meeting.
Okay.
And then we'll be discussing what we think the fee will be. Okay.
Yeah, discuss more of that.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, discussion on that? Okay, item 14, discussion vote on the rate study.
We have no
No.
information because
Carlos
is not here.
yeah.
I did submit the TA request.
Okay,
Okay.
so, do we want to take a brief recess?
So,
Okay, moving on, new business, item 15. Review and approve meeting minutes, that was tabled because we don't have those minutes. Item 16, discussion vote on future agenda items. Are there any future agenda items? Yes, Garcia.
I'd like to revisit our code of conduct of the directors and also our commitment to follow the rule of orders for meeting,
Robert Rules of Order.
Robert Rules of Order for our conflicting, commenting and talking over, cross-talking and not giving the people that are on the screen time to finish their comments before we are making our responses to them. So I think it's time that we start policing ourselves a little bit better. And I think we can all do a little bit better job of that.
Always good to do refresher courses.
Well, somebody had brought it up before, I still have mine in my notebook so that I can quickly and easily review it.
Okay, so that's an agenda item for when?
We seem to have much more time on the second meetings, since that's more of an in-house thing. Why don't we do it next? Well, we also have to decide on some dates for meetings.
Oh, we did that.
Oh,
we already
yeah,
did that already.
I wasn't here. for that.
You were here,
Okay.
sorry.
so it's
That's all right, I'll get it caught up.
14 and 21 of November.
Perfect.
So do you want it on the 21st?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, any other future agenda items? All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, any issues with that? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
and Director Shepherd is an aye. We are adjourning this meeting at 5:08 PM. Thank you everyone for being here and we will see you, next month.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good
Thanks, Dee.
night.
Right,
Have a
good weekend.
Good night,
Sam.
everyone.
Thank you, Jerome.
Hey, everybody.